Well, hello again. This is going to be our last evening and our last video from the West Coast for now. So trying to enjoy every last minute of it. Today we're going to be in Burgundy, as you will see shortly. Yesterday, my wife Krista and I went to dinner to one of our favorite local places, and I knew I wanted to have the beef bourguignon. So I figured, and they have a really nice wine list, which, by the way, that's the place where I first discovered Clos Mogador 3 years ago on Kristen's birthday, and it was just this big discovery for me on that wine list. So they do have a very good wine list, reasonably priced, but they just don't have any Burgundies. So I figured I'd take one of my Burgundies, a new acquisition, and maybe it would be a good marriage. So here we are. We have a Corton Bressandes Grand Cru by Chandon de Briailles. That's the domain name. It's a 2002. It's a bottle I bought recently, so I didn't age it myself. And these guys, Chandon de Briailles, this is a domain that Hani likes quite a bit, and he helped me discover it. He likes they really make they're sort of active in three regions: Pernan, Vergelès, Savigny-les-Bains, where they're based, and Corton. And actually, recently they've become much better known, and their prices have gone up. Believe it or not, the older vintages seem to be cheaper when you find them at auction than the new vintages. So it's a great opportunity to sort of go back in time and not have to wait too much. This is a Corton Bressandes. In Corton, there's several lieux-dits. Corton Bressandes is the biggest one. It's halfway up the hill, and you know, in Burgundy, where you are up the hill is everything. So there's about 20 winemakers who make wine from Corton Bressandes. Some of the well-known names, some other smaller domains. These guys are one of them. Right above on the hill, there's Clos du Roi and Les Renards. And overall, I think those attract higher prices, as we just discussed. But this is a Grand Cru. So it's really like it's sort of a pretty high end from the quality point of view. This is a family property that's been in the family since like 1834, something like this is what they say. And the current name of the family is not Chandon de Briailles, it's de Nicolet, but they inherited from the Chandon de Briailles like 2 generations ago, who were themselves cousins to the Chandon from Moet Chandon. So it's a family that's been in this business for a long time, one way or another. They really have a very simple philosophy. They use neutral wood, old used wood, so they don't know how neutral it is, but it's already been used, not new oak. They use gravity for feeding their bottles, for like bottling. They don't filter, they don't fine. It's just sort of, they use whole clusters quite a bit. I think this wine is whole clusters. So they have this way of trying to really represent what the terroir is all about without anything external coming into play. Since this vintage, in the late 2005, 6, 7, they started also becoming much more bio-oriented and sort of organic, but not for this bottle. In any case, let's see what we have here. The color is typical Burgundy, sort of kind of light and makes you wonder, this is a light wine, but we know better than that. It's a little bit, starting to turn a little bit brown. This is a 20-year-old bottle. But at the same time, on the nose, it's really still very, it's not even like, I wouldn't say vibrant. It's a little closed in, but it's got the cherry, it's got the acidity, it's got a little bit of sweet, sort of cooked fruit note to it, and some of the sort of other notes like tobacco and earth, and some of the tertiary, mushrooms that you develop in a Burgundy over time. The color yesterday in the light, and you see that in the picture, it just has this sort of a reflection to it, in any kind of light. That's really very pleasant, just because it's light, and I think there's fine particles floating in it that really reflect the light. still plenty of acidity. And this is what helps these wines age so well. But at the same time, you can still drink it without food. It's very enjoyable because the finish, the finish is not acidic. The acidity is in the front of the mouth. So, and then after that, it goes into a much more subdued, a little bit of salinity, some dark, cherry that you expect in the Burgundy, and the alcohol is about 13%. But this is not a weak wine. You feel a little bit of alcohol, which is great in a Burgundy. Really great bottle. Anyway, so good with the beef bourguignon. We almost finished the bottle. Kristen and I, we never do because we're not very heavy drinkers, but believe it or not. But anyway, it was just great, and it's great to have some left for today to share with you. Great bottle that I was able to get at a reasonable price, everything being relative, of course. And this is a domain that I'm going to be buying more from based on Heine's recommendation, and I'm enjoying this already. See you in New York.